In this episode, we are going to paint the fox. Now, the fox pops up quite a bit in, well, people's back gardens if you live in urban areas, or even in the countryside, I'm sure, but it pops up quite a bit in mythology, certainly in Irish Celtic mythology. Now, it's believed that the fox was brought to Ireland by the Norse, and the Druids certainly revered the fox. So the fox, really cunning, really cute, very fast, and really wonderful animal. So we're going to paint the fox in this episode. Amazing. So let's let that dry a little bit, and then I'm going to make sure that I have the correct color on this. Get a little bit of water into it as well, because it would have dried because of the heat coming off the hairdryer. Grab a little bit more ochre, a little bit more titanium white, a little bit more of that. There we go. Okay. Super. Okay, brilliant. So I'm going to spin them around again, and we're going to again go into this like this. And when we're painting hair like this, it is a case of just going over it and over it and over it. It's worth it. Honestly, it's worth it in the end. So you're building such beautiful depth. I'm going to come down here into the eye area as well, just to give it a bit of a highlight. And the same up here, we're just moving up and into the ear with this stroke by stroke. Now you can, again, pause me if you want. You can catch up with me fast forward in a few minutes if you like. I'm just going to be doing this nice brush strokes. As you can see, it is building nice depth there. See? Okay, amazing. Give me a bit more of this, and I'm going to come over to the far side. And we're just going to move around. When I paint dogs, quite often the dogs I paint are bulldogs and pugs and Frenchies, those kind of things. So they have really interesting features. I have dogs myself, none of those breeds, but the great thing about the Frenchies and pugs, the thing I enjoy, and bullies and bulldogs and stuff, is their hair is quite short. So it's pretty short brush strokes, similar to this, but only much shorter. So I use that other brush that I'm going to move on to now in a moment anyway. Now I'm going to bring this down here as well, because what I'm doing at this point is just highlighting the hair. And I'm going to gently bring this out here into the background, because it just takes a little bit of, this is where we're going with it. I am going to build it up quite a bit, but not in one brush stroke. There we go. We're going to bring that hair out. Same over the far side. Bring it down and stroke out. There we go. Okay. Okay. And now I'm going to do the same here and just bring it in, and the same over here. Okay. Awesome. Now, I kind of want this color on the nose as well. Nice and light. So like I was saying earlier, it's like a highlighter highlighting the nose, and then my Apple Watch is kind of annoying me a little bit. So we're going to get that out of the way. Doesn't need to. Do you know, give you a laugh, Apple Watches, or watches, any, because I've had all the Fitbits and stuff. They are, if you're an artist or a hairdresser, if you're working in a hairdressing salon, the amount of steps that you're doing, if you're wearing it while you're doing someone's hair, I hate to tell you, the movement of your hand, so like me with a paintbrush, yeah, it's counting those as steps. They're not steps, they are brush strokes. Okay, so it is good that it's off, because that would have been counting all of this as me, like I'm walking a marathon. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to bring this up and into the ear area as well. Now what I'm going to do, I'm putting my filbert, my size 10 away, and I'm going to make sure that I have it dried off or washed off. But I'm going to get this brush back, and I'm going to go in much closer with much more detail. And I'm going to start by going into the outside and just nice strokes. Now again, you can fast forward this. This is going to take me a bit of time, and I might be silent. I may not be silent. You like to talk a lot. Did you know I was a motivational... Oh yeah. Did you know I am a motivational speaker, and all I do is speak? And I also coach people, and I teach workshops. I talk all the time. So it can be hard for me. This period of time has been challenging in COVID, not seeing people. Challenging for everybody, of course. So there we go. We're going to just draw this. As you can see, this brush, unlike the filbert we've just used, it doesn't give you as much in terms of the paint that you can get down, but it does give you such lovely control. Now, okay. this up here and just give that bit of an outline. I'll do it on this side as well, just so I'm not forgetting. Okay, I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna do the same on this side. So again, we're kind of trying to keep it as symmetrical as possible. And we're gonna come down here. This is a bit lined, so I wanna get rid of that. So I wanna make it a bit more jagged, and we do that by literally doing this over and over. It's a bit of a process, guys, and some people might say it's tedious. I love it. I really love it. I love that I know where the brush strokes are going, that it builds it up, and the final picture I pretty much have in my head what I want. And again, it's like any goal, it's step by step. You get there by doing it step by step. It doesn't just happen. You know, I talk to people about the law of attraction and all that kind of thing, and in a way it works, but you got to put the action in. You got to do the work. You know, I could law of attraction this painting all I wanted, but if I wasn't willing to paint the painting, what would happen? It wouldn't just pop up. So there we go. What I want to do is grab some, while I'm in the mood, I'm in the mood of course, but while it's in my head, I'm going to grab some yellow ochre. There's still titanium white on this, and I'm going to pull it into the eye here. There we go. Amazing. The same on the far side. Okay, incredible. So the eye is really starting to come out. That's what we're looking for. Now, I'm going to get some more titanium white onto this. There is a bit of ochre just tied into this that doesn't matter that it is. I hadn't planned on it being there, but it is. So we're going to go with it. It doesn't make a difference because I want to bring some hair down here, because I'm going to start to make this chest area look a bit more hairy, fluffy. Okay, there we go. Furry, actually is the word I was looking for. It's fur, it's actually fur. Okay, so fox's fur. There we go. Fox's fur looks good on the fox, not on humans. Just saying. Okay, no, there we go. So I'm going to build this up again. You can pause me and continue on yourself. You kind of know what I'm doing now. So we're just bringing this hair. I'm wetting it a little bit as well, because sometimes it gets a bit dry and the flow isn't quite what I'm looking for. So I'm just wetting it a little bit more. And now I'm bringing this here, as you can see. So I'm going to continue around the fox doing this, just adding in the fur, the hairs, almost hair by hair, which is just part of the process, part of the fun, certainly for me. And if you're giving this as a gift, I mean, people, honestly, people appreciate art as gifts so much, certainly when so much work like this has gone into it. Okay. Yeah. Because it doesn't just happen overnight, and it certainly doesn't just happen in one go either. You have to build it up, and it's years and years of practice and technique, and I mean, you don't have to spend years and years before you can gift a painting, years and years painting before you can gift a painting. Anything that comes from your creative soul. And when I talk about creativity, I talk about us all being creative beings. Every single one of us. Some people might like to paint like this. Some people might like to write poetry. Some people might like to create in other ways. It's whatever way you want to exhibit your creativity is important. No one else can do it like you. No one else. The painting you're painting now, there's no one else in the world that can do it like you. So you got to be proud of that. You know, the ancient Greeks and the ancient Romans viewed creativity as something which came from another source, that it was passed to humans by a daemon or a muse, that it came from divinity, that it was of us but not from us, which is quite beautiful, you know. So it was of us but from a different source. Humans were the tool used, and divinity was using us to create. So I don't know what you think about that, but I think it's lovely. And it's only around the time of the Renaissance, was it the Enlightenment, that people started to think that creativity was from us and ego got in the way and people were afraid of rejection and criticism, so they held themselves back. But if you can think of it as you're merely the tool being used by a greater divinity, and that's where it's coming from, for whatever reason, it might make it a bit easier for you to share your creativity, your gift. When I'm talking about creativity, what I often say is, imagine your creativity can help another person. That's really what it's all about, isn't it? So if you think of someone like Adele, the singer, or Whitney Houston, or those kind of people, if they hadn't shared their creativity with the world, Lady Gaga, that kind of thing, U2, if they hadn't shared their creativity with the world, the amount of people that they've helped wouldn't have been helped. Now, you don't have to share it with the world, but if you do, your creativity can help another person. And isn't that really the greatest gift of all? Your creativity can help other people. That's the blessing in it. So here we go. We're still doing our fox's fur, our white fur, and I'm going to come out of it now, and I want to go back up to the kind of eye zone, and I want to grab some titanium white and the bit of umber that I had there, and I'm just going to draw in some hair marks here. We're going to come down onto this like this, and the same up and around here. So it's just nice strokes of this brush down. Now if you overdo it, and it's unlikely you will, but if you do, we have the great tool that is called a wash. And the wash can get rid of anything. Pretty much. Not quite, but it can. We can work it out. Again, it's acrylic. It will work with us. I've always used acrylic, and I did try oils at one point, but they just weren't for me. Now what I'm doing here is I'm adding a bit more titanium white because I want some of the hair to be much paler than the other hair. So that's what I'm doing here, around here. I'm kind of moving it the way I want it to go. Same here. Okay, brilliant. I'm going to come up and into this part of the fox's head and just blend in into the ear. So I don't want the ears to just appear. I want the ears to have a bit of a blending in. So it look like they're natural ears and they're not just stuck on the head of the fox. So I'm going to do some more of this. Again, this might be a good point, unless you're happy listening to me talking, but it might be a good point to pause me, because I'm just going to be drawing in the hairs individually, bit by bit. There we go. Up here, as you can see. Now, okay. Bit by bit, step by step, we get to the top of the mountain. I use that walking up a mountain as a metaphor for a lot of things, and I use art as well as a metaphor. You start off with a blank canvas, tubes of paint, quite often paintbrushes, and you get to a finished piece, step by step, brush stroke by brush stroke. No rushing. Why would you rush? But enjoying the process. We never get this time back. We never get this day back or this moment back. There's a certain amount of beauty in that, I think. And if you're doing something you love doing with good intention, certainly if you're painting this for somebody else, there's great intention behind that. Okay. Now, let's have a look at the fox. Awesome. Exactly what I want. Still quite a bit of way to go. But what I want to do now is come back into the eye and get some more work done on that kind of eye zone. So I'm going to grab some yellow ochre, a little bit of titanium white with it as well. And I'm going to just come in here because I had highlighted it, but I don't want it too bright either. I'm just going to draw in and around here. And the same over this side. And what I'm going to do is just this eyebrow or eye, what's it called? bit that covers your eye when you go to sleep. Oh my God, I can't even think. Your eyelid. There we go, eyelid. I can't think. So I'm going to come over the eyelid and I'm going to come down here as well. Okay. And this paintbrush is giving me such a super ability to kind of direct where I want to go. I'm going to leave this breathe for a couple of moments, and actually just before I do, I'm going to grab some sienna and I'm going to come in and around the eye here. Now when I mean breathe, what I mean is I just want to give my eyes a breath away from it, and I'll come back to it with fresh eyes. You often hear people say that. It's really important, come back to something with fresh eyes. Okay, and I'm going to get some work done on the nose. So we're going to grab some black, some more black, and we're going to come down here. Now I want some titanium white as well, because what I'm going to do is build up this part of the nose. It's almost like a T shape. Let's just make a T. So it is a T. That's sometimes easier to do. It's like a T shape there, a bit more titanium white, and I'm going to just make it like this, like it's a T. There we go. And I'm going to bring it down because the nostril kind of comes down and under. So we're going to make it like this for the moment. We are going to darken it up, but this is just to allow us to choose where we want the darker black to go. So this is almost like a V shape down here. We're going to join up, maybe bring that down that way. Now I'm going to grab more black, and I'm going to put the black in where these lighter areas are. So that's going to be like the nostril of the fox. And I am pretty sure that they have as good a smell sense as dogs do, if not better. So there we go. That's where it all happens, I suppose. And that's how they find their food in urban areas, certainly. When they're pulling bins apart, driving residents bananas. Now, as far as I know, you're not allowed to interfere with foxes in Dublin, in Ireland. As far as I know. So, yeah. Don't interfere with foxes, leave them alone. Now what I'm going to do, now, not that they're dangerous, it's just they are protected species as far as I am aware. So yes, leave them alone, don't wear them. Okay, so there we go. We're going to bring this around here. Superb. So the eye of the fox is a lovely dark eye line. There we go. What I want to do is I want to grab some of the black, and I want to grab some titanium white, and I want to come up here to the ear, and I just want to bring it in here. I want to make this look, yeah, like it's gray hair. I'm not going to cover in fully the kind of ear canal part. I just want it to look like that. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Same over the far side. Now, just kind of scrub that down a little bit. Brilliant. Now what I want to do as well with the eye is I'm just going to bring it out here. Might be a bit too much black on that for me, but just down here. Now we did this earlier with the umber, and I'm just going over it with black, and I build some definition. There we go. Super. Exactly what I'm looking for. Now I'm going to take a lot of the pigment off, a lot of the paint off this brush, and I'm going to just come in here with it. And this is almost like shadow. Perfect. And I'm going to do the same on the kind of muzzle area here. So we're going to do it really gently, really lightly with this brush. You're not overloading it at all, but you're kind of building up the shadow, and you can see that there. Okay, now I'm going to bring this down in a line towards the nose. The same on this side, and we're going to build it up just nice and gently. And I'm going to do the same under this area as well, under the chin. I just kind of want to pop it out. And while I have black on this brush and it's not too overloaded, I'll pop it out like this. And I'm going to come back up here, and I'm just going to do a dry brushing technique up here and here as well. Now, okay. Now, and just kind of dry brush it in, giving it nice shadow as well. Perfect. Let's have a look at the fox. Fox looking good. Now what I want to do is grab some the number 10 brush, and I'm going to grab some titanium white, straight up titanium white, dip it in the water a little bit, dab it in the water a little bit, and I'm going to come over to here and I'm just going to move this bit of fur out. And every time we attack this bit of fur, it's getting lighter and lighter. So we're not just going in with a big block of titanium white, we're going in bit by bit, and it's bringing up the lightness of it, of course, but also the depth of what's beneath. Going to do the same on the far side. Of course, earlier we were using a smaller brush, but this one I want broader strokes, not as thick titanium, so it's allowing some of the tone from underneath to come through, not blocking it out. Titanium can really be good at blocking out colors that are beneath. We don't want that. We're going to do the same on the muzzle area. Nice, and be gentle here with the brush. We're going to bring it down. There we go. Awesome. Same on the far side. Incredible. And the same then for the chin. And I'm just going to bring it down here onto the chest of the fox. And superb. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Now, what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to bring it up. There is still a bit of a wash on it, so it's not too full-on titanium. As I say, titanium can be quite overpowering. It's opaque, so it covers whatever's beneath it. But I'm going to come up here to the fox's ears, the fox's ears, and just kind of add in some more titanium white up here, lighten it up, gives it much more texture, as you can see. Yeah, love that. Awesome. Yeah, exactly what I want. Now, because I'm kind of in the mood, I'm going to put it here as well. Don't know if it's where I want it to go, but I'm going to try it. And if I don't like it, I can change it. But I'll know in a few moments. It might be a bit white now for me. I'm happy with that, but I'm going to just grab some of the mix that we made earlier with a bit more ochre. I'm going to, not too white, or not too wet, just wet enough, I think, just to give me, yeah, that's what I'm going for. Amazing. I'm just going to bring this up here, more fur, and this is a case of just going at it, and bit by bit, step by step, we get to where we want to go. Okay, I'm going to come in here. Now this is a bit paler than I want it to be, but I want the depth of it as well. So I'm going to bring it in on both sides of the eyes, and then I'm going to go over it with a sienna shortly. A wash of sienna, gentle wash of sienna. More of this here. I'm going to do some more highlight here and just kind of move that out a bit into here. So it's almost like a Christmas tree kind of shape, you know, sticking out. Top down pyramid kind of thing. And then I'm just going to come in here with, actually I'm going to get some more ochre. Some more yellow ochre, and I'm going to come in here with, yeah, that's what I want. Okay. And the same over the far side. And then underneath the eye, I'm going to put in more ochre, exactly. And the same over here. Okay, perfect. Now I want to do the same down here, just down on the shoulder area of the fox. I'm going to do the same down here. So it's giving lovely marks, leaving a nice bit of shade there that we put down earlier. And then I'm going to get some sienna onto the brush that I have with the other colors still attached. And I'm going to bring it up here. Sienna is notoriously opaque. Not opaque, translucent. You can kind of see through it. So it's not great for covering over, certainly dark colors beneath it, or really any color. So I really just want to use the benefit of the titanium white for it up here. Now, what I'm going to do is wash off this filbert brush. And I'm going to grab some sienna. I'm going to dip it in water, more sienna, to kind of a 50-50 mix. And now what I want to do is give some more depth around the eye area. So I'm going to put it in here and here. That's a little bit too much for me there and there, but I know I can come back to it in a second and just bring it. There we go. So I can bring it on out. Awesome. There we are. Now, the same over here. And what I'm going to do is just bring it down here as well. And down here. So we're building up shade and depth. There we are. Now I want to do the same just down here. Not too much, just a little bit of warmth. And then I'm going to pop up to the ear and do it on the ear as well. So just giving a little bit of color up here, a little bit more tone. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's have a look at Mr. Fox. Super. Now what I also want to do is bring this sienna here, because I'm going to go in with a bit of a wash of an umber in a second. So I want this to be a base for my umber. Okay. And I'm going to dry it off a little bit, but I want to keep a bit of it on this brush because I want to put a bit of it here. And then I'm going to come down here and just blend it in. Nice and gently. Not overpowering or overloading. Just come up here as well with that. Okay. And we're just going to go around here and just kind of the last little bit of the sienna that I have on this brush, the last few little bits of pigment, just going to go around here, warm it up. Yeah, that's what I want. Exactly. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so Mr. Fox is getting very close to the end, but before we get to the end, I need to do some work up on the forehead, or on the crown of the head, the top of the head. So we got to get some work done up there. So what I'm going to do is spin them around. I'm going to get some ochre. I'm going to get some titanium white. It's going to be a nice thick mix. A bit more ochre. Actually, you know what? I'm going to add ochre, more ochre than white. And I'm just going to bring this out here like this. And the same over here. And we're going to just go a little bit wild. I'm going to wet it a bit. I didn't think I was going to, but I do want to because it's a little bit dry for me. So there we go. It allows it to flow much better. Can you see that? So there we are. I'm just going to draw in the hair. And this is actually a really fun part of it. I draw in the hair up here. And here as well. We're going to bring this hair up and into it. Okay. Amazing. And over here too. We're just going to draw in hair. Bit by bit, step by step, we get there. Now, I'm going to spin it around because I want to do some of the hair on the side. Am I happy with that hair? I actually want to give it a bit more character, so I'm going to put some hair kind of popping up at the center, some kind of moving off to the side, and make it look like it's less of a line of hair and more that it's going in here. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, super. I'm going to do the same over here. I'm just really conscious now about blocking in the background. I don't want it to look like there's a line of green around the fox's face. So I want it to look like there is obviously a forest in the background, but I'm just now going into it and just putting lines of color of hair, almost like a hairline, wherever I feel they need to go, pretty much. And you can have it, if you went through the horse tutorial, it's quite whimsical in terms of the hair kind of flowing and the mane and the forelock of the horse. So let's do this one the same. You know, it's a bit of fun, bit of magic, mythical. So you can move the hair out the way you want, whatever way you want this to be is the way we're going to get it. Okay. just gonna bring that out a little bit more. There we are. I'm gonna do the same down on the shoulders. I'm gonna move him there. Excuse that. Him there as well. Now,